Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to compare M&M to Retail WoW, and how the dev team at Niche Worlds Cult plans to revitalize that classic style MMORPG that doesn't hold your hand, is designed for personal reward over flashy achievements, and more. I hate wasting time jabbering on, so I just want to ask, if you enjoy what the M&M team is trying to create, please consider giving me a sub and a like. It's free to you, but it means the world to me. Without further ado, let's sink our teeth into it. Retail WoW has become a solo-friendly, guided experience that many longtime fans feel has lost its soul. Monsters and Memories is taking a completely different path, one that deliberately rejects modern convenience in favor of a living, breathing, social, player-driven world. As highlighted in weekly community recaps, the dev team at M&M is focused on restoring what made classic MMOs feel special. Let's break down exactly how they're doing this, point by point, and where Retail WoW does the opposite. Starting right now, I will break this down into sections. Section 1. The core philosophy. Old school soul versus retail convenience. The dev team at Monsters and Memories is building slower, meaningful progression, where leveling feels earned through exploration, risk, and discovery, rather than being rushed. Retail WoW is the opposite. Heirlooms, catch-up mechanics, flying mounts, and looking for group tools make the entire game hyper-soloable. Players can literally blast from level 1 to max level without ever needing to interact with anyone else. Max level should feel like a real accomplishment. This is something that vanilla WoW did well. It shouldn't feel like something that's been handed to you after about a week or two of grinding. Section 2. The world. Designed to force social interaction. M&M features one massive, persistent, shared world. Factions and deities gate significant content. Vertical dungeons have multiple entrances. And the overworld, plus the deep, encourage constant exploration, across 100 plus zones at launch. Retail WoW is the opposite. Phased zones, instanced content, and flying mounts that let players bypass others entirely. The world often feels empty because everything is designed around solo convenience. What's the result of all this? In M&M, you're regularly asking strangers for directions, forming pickup groups, and experiencing the world together. The environment itself pushes social play. Section 3. Interface and UI. Less flashy on purpose. The dev team chose a clean, minimalist, old-school interface with clear stat explanations, but no heavy hand-holding overlays or information overload. Abilities are kept relatively conservative early on, and trading happens through physical vendor stalls or consignment systems that require a player's presence. In Retail WoW, it's the opposite. Everything is flashy, add-on heavy, UIs are packed with quest trackers, auto-pathing, glowing markers, and constant HUD elements that encourage playing alone as efficiently as possible. What does this design choice do? Less flash keeps players focused on the actual game world and the other people around, instead of staring at the UI elements. Section 4. The art style. Monsters and Memories has 100% intentional classic aesthetic. A truly dark world with dynamic lighting through player-carried torches and lanterns, atmospheric textures, and careful zone updates all serve to create a sense of danger, wonder, and immersion. Retail WoW, it has a more modern, polished art direction that often sacrifices the timeless, stylized charm of classic era visuals in favor of generic high-detail graphics. They chose flashy, colorful, and attention-grabbing styles that, while at first may look good, often lack the original WoW team style that made the world feel unique. Everyone is now running around with transmogs that don't even match the original game, and it breaks immersion eventually, if not right out of the gate for most of us. Monsters and Memories' principle on this? The art style is intentional. It reinforces the dangerous, mysterious world that players want to explore together, rather than chasing fleeting modern trends. While not all textures and art is implemented as of the time of this video, I believe that those of you looking for graphics and an art style that will stand the test of time, that M&M will likely give it to you as they build out the world through their artistic vision, using these hand-painted looking textures, perfect for fantasy world setting. Section 5, and this is a big one. Deeper world absorption and player-created stories. Every major design decision in Monsters and Memories pulls players deeper into the world instead of keeping them at a distance. There are no quest markers or glowing paths. Quests are discovered by actually speaking to NPCs and exploring the environment. Choices made at character creation, such as faith and deity selection, will have meaningful long-term impacts. Players can renounce and switch faiths later, creating branching paths and personal rivalries. Race, class, traits, and day-to-day decisions. Where you travel, who you group with, how you handle dangerous situations, and what hidden lore or rumors you pursue. Allow each player to craft their own unique story and memories. The slower pace, real risk, and lack of convenience tools make every login feel like stepping into a living realm full of emergent adventures, surprise group encounters, and personal tales of survival that players naturally share with each other. Retail WoW? Total opposite. Strong guided storytelling with quest hubs, cinematic narratives, auto-pathing, and phase storylines that funnel everyone down the same pre-written path. It often feels like you're being walked through by the developer's story, rather than creating your own within a shared world. The heavy reliance on solo tools and convenience reduces immersion. You follow the arrow instead of getting lost in the world and making your own memories. Monsters and Memories design choices create the deep absorption classic MMO fans miss. The game becomes your story of exploration, alliances, rivalries, and unforgettable moments, rather than a linear theme park ride. Section 6. Gameplay systems that double down on community. Player-run vendor stalls act as social money sinks in Monsters and Memories. Campfire-rested bonuses encourage safe hubs, and there is no alternate advancement system that enables heavy solo power creep. Retail WoW is the opposite again. Flying mounts to go right over all the conflicts, dungeon finders, raid finders, solo quest chains, and systems that let players progress efficiently alone actively reduce the need for real community. Monsters and Memories' vision, their classes, the combat, And the systems emphasize player interdependencies and moment-to-moment tactics, so that grouping up feels natural and necessary. Section 7. Development and long-term vision. The team at Niche Worlds Cult maintains full transparency with public budget tracking, a clear volunteer to paid transition, no post-early access wipes, and module-based expansions roughly every 3 months. The focus remains on building one dedicated game rather than chasing multiple projects at once. Retail WoW, the opposite. Corporate-driven design that often prioritizes solo retention metrics, cash shop elements, and expansion bloat over long-term soul and community. In Monsters and Memories, the replayability is baked in through different race, faction, and city combinations on alts and the potential for time-limited progression servers, so the world feels worth returning to again and again. Now for the wrap-up. From the shared world that forces real interaction, to the intentional minimalist UI and classic art, to the deep immersion where you create your own story through every choice you make, Monsters and Memories isn't trying to copy any modern MMO. It's deliberately rejecting the elements that made modern MMOs feel lonely, linear, and disposable. This is the game that puts the multiplayer and the role-playing back into MMORPG. Monsters and Memories is intentionally slower. It's not a bug. It's the whole point of the design. Progression isn't measured in daily login streaks or flashing plus 5,000 XP pop-ups. It's measured in quiet moments. The first rare drop that actually feels rare. The slow burn of watching your camp slowly turn into a home. And here's the part that surprises most people. That slower pace, well, it doesn't mean you need to no-life it. You genuinely don't. 10 to 20 focused minutes a day is enough to feel like you're moving forward. The game was built so that if you let yourself enjoy the calm instead of fighting it, you'll still make progress without burning out. You see, we've all been trained by modern MMOs to chase dopamine like it's doom scrolling with extra steps. Log in, chase the flashing event, get the hype reward, repeat. It feels amazing for about 2 to 6 weeks. Then the fatigue hits, and the game starts feeling like a second job. Monsters and Memories does the opposite. If you actually let yourself relax into it, if you allow your brain to rewire from flashy and immediate back towards meaningful and earned, something magical happens. You start feeling the exact same serotonin buzz you got the very first time you played an MMO as a kid. That warm, satisfied feeling when you finally crafted your first real piece of gear, or tamed your first pet after putting in the work. That feeling lasts. It doesn't crash after a month. It builds. So yeah, the game is slower on purpose. But if you give it a real chance, and stop expecting it to scratch the same itch as every other game, it might just remind you why you fell in love with this game genre in the first place. Slow can be better. Sometimes the best rewards are the ones you actually have to walk toward.